you. That had kind of been the rumor before the series began. He came off the bench.
Very, very thin on that bench. But the positive is Marcus Smart has been more productive as a starter than he has been off the game in his 40 starts.
Little pick and roll game. Kemba Walker, the master at that. And Daniel Tyson able to put it down. Offensive rebound corralled by Tatum. He's going to fire from the corner, and he picks up right where he left.
Developing into one of the absolute best scorers in this league.
Youngest Celtic ever to put together that kind of performance. This is Tobias Harris, sized up by Smart. Stan, it'll be interesting to see just how many different players Smart defends. Here comes Embiid, flicks it up and in, and he's hit.
And once he gets it in there, there's no one on this Celtics roster who has a chance to play him.
It's the kind of start Philly was hoping for from Embiid. Here comes Walker around the screen. Perfect.
The Sixers are doing when the Celtics play through Daniel Tice up top, they drop Embiid into the lane. As we see Embiid going again strong to the hoop, they drop Embiid. If I had a vote, which I don't, and rightly so, but if I had one, I would have voted for Ben Simmons as the defensive player of the year.
Second personal a moment ago. He stays on the floor for the moment. He'll fire from three here, and the rebound pulled by Embiid.
I like what Thibault did there. Instead of just dying on the pick, he came and even contested from behind. Just let Tatum feel you a little bit.
Richardson, 7 to shoot. Embiid from deep. So Brad Stevens trusting Tatum here, playing with two personals. Tatum feels out the defense. Not much you can make Philly lead here. We're just over 7 to play in the opening quarter. Shake Milton, extra ball handling responsibilities in the absence of Simmons. Embiid to Richardson, trying to find some daylight. Inside, it's Horford. So
Embiid's off to a great start. They want to keep him in the game.
It's interesting to see the different head coaches, Stan, how they handle the challenges. A lot of them like to keep it late, no matter kind of what the circumstances are early, just in case. Here's Embiid on the box. Good start for him if you've just joined us. Out of the double now to Richardson. Finds some daylight, shoots a three, and sticks it. Smart ran a master class on how to do that, just kind of bothering the postman Embiid in the opener of the series. Milton, this is a long three, and that's good. How about that
guy?
Just really good locker room guys on the Celtics team, certainly with the arrival of Kemba Walker last year. As the outlook has changed for the better. Harris double-teamed outside. As Korkmaz is checked into the game. Harris stepping middle and showing his soft touch.
Came down and dug on the post. Neto moved over. He pulled over to the ball side. Not only an easier pass back out for Harris, but a better angle to repost the ball. He gets it back to Harris, and Harris scores in the post. He was almost strictly a left-handed driver 3 or 4 years ago. Now he can take it either way off the dribble.
Semi Ojeleye and Grant Williams have come into the game for the Celtics. This is Williams on a three, and he rattles it down. 4-13 stand from the field.
Well, off to a rough start, but Philly's defense has been part of it. Very, very good early, and now we're going to post Harris again against Marcus Smart. Not an easy thing to do.
This is Milton, shot clock down to 3, has to take a tough turnaround fade, and he puts it down.
He's been playing so much better here in the bubble. He said part of it is his confidence. He says the thing he likes the best about his athleticism is that he does not blink when he has an open three-point shot, and we've seen that already today. Yeah,
he's been a key piece, Stephanie. Great stuff. Is Jalen Brown.
Semi Ojeleye immediately came off the floor, and Enes Kanter comes into the game.
Paul Neto in the game, and that is Embiid left open. Not a good idea for the Celtics defense, and Embiid is off and running. 4 for 6. He's got 11. A beautiful backdoor cut by Brown.
Can be up on top because when the center has the ball, there's no rules on Embiid. He can be back in the lane and take that pass away. But that pass came from Tatum. Embiid had to be up above the free throw line guarding Kanter, and that opened up the back door.
Neto probing the defense, gets it to Embiid, and actually a good idea. And this offensive onslaught by the Sixers continues. They're 13 of 18 from the field.
You see where Embiid's playing now with Kanter with the ball.
Brown, drives it through the net. It's the 22nd all-time postseason meeting between these two storied franchises. Incredible. No two teams have met more. That is Tatum.
Decisive. You know, he went quick. I thought the people around him spacing were spaced the way they needed to be. The first quarter was excellent.
When you face a team like the Celtics and all their perimeter weapons.
Injury, as they kind of have to reshuffle the deck stand. You know what that's like as a head coach. This is Cantor on a three. That's good. When he ready working the sidelines for us. Celtics trying to take a commanding 2-0 lead in the series. No Gordon Hayward. Grade 3 sprain of his right ankle as Jason Tatum. Of course, no Ben Simmons for Philly. Went down with that knee injury early this month. That shot is good, and a chance at 3 for Cantor. Neck worked on that Celtics bench. Keep an eye on that here as the second quarter continues. Williams gets it back from Tatum. Changed his mind. Wanamaker attacks. Pretty finish by Wanamaker. He's up.
Well, Boston now is getting help in the post. They got Horford off the lane. And because Philly just throws it in and stands there, then they're forcing him into a lot of
lead. First time since the opening seconds of the game. Tatum. Oh, he's feeling it. It's tapped up and in by Cantor. Cantor giving him some good.
One side of the floor to the other and then going inside. Now they're trying to just go directly to Embiid. And the difference is the Celtic defense just loads up on him, as we see there. Very tough to stop, but what a great move. Shooting on the floor with Shake Milton because they don't have to match up with Tatum now.
Philadelphia, if you've just joined us, had a 14-point lead before Boston turned the tables on him. Wanamaker sticks a 3.
Well, you know what happened in his game by talking about not helping off of him. And so he said, look, Van Gundy, watch what I can do. That's why they're staying home.
He's a 36% three-point shooter. You saw the three-point shooting for them in the quarter, and that is Richardson with the answer.
Embiid. Joel Embiid dunked in hard with the ball up top. Jaylen Brown tried to get down in the paint to give some support. That opened up Richardson from the 3. When Joel Embiid...
First half, here in game 2, Walker. Well short, follows his own miss, and cleans up his own miss.
And they don't do it all the time, but Burks pulled all the way over and made the pass back out easier. Good offense, you just got to make the shot.
That silky, smooth cover for game 4. We will be bringing you that game stand and I here as this series continues to progress. Shake Milton puts it on the deck. Off to the left hand, they'll count the basket, and a chance at 3 from Milton.
And Al, thing early in the game, they were moving the ball a little bit, and it was getting into Embiid on the second option, you know, where the defense wasn't as locked in. The second quarter, even late in the first quarter, they just started going directly to the post, as we see here with Harris, and that Boston defense is just loaded up on them.
So 8 points now for Walker. Harris stops on a dime and hits. He's so skilled offensively. Rebound. Sixers down 9. Richardson trying to find some space, and what a half he's put together for the Sixers.
Philadelphia offense much better.
10 points for Richardson. He's 4 of 8 in 16 minutes. Walker stepping on a dime.
I know those are mid-range. Kemba Walker with your big all the way back below the dotted circle and letting Kemba Walker come off and walk into those jump shots.
Saw the damage that Walker has done so far here in the quarter. Embiid, 7 to shoot. Richardson thought about it in the corner. Kind of smart on his shoulder. Tiptoes the baseline, turns and shoots, and buries it. Make it. Just sometimes in the flow of the game, you know, when you got that kind of a stroke, you just wander out. And maybe a little bit too much of that from Embiid.
Well, it's easier to get the ball, number 1, and I think Embiid really wants the ball, you know, as he should.
Early into their set. Embiid calling for errant pass from Richardson.
Well, in Philly, the number 8 defense in the league, and the best at limiting 3-pointers. holding their opponents to. You need to adjust even when things are going well, because you know how the other team wants to attack, and you know Philly wanted to go inside. Boston throws a couple of possessions.
If you've just hopped on with us, Philadelphia in the quarter is now 0 of 8 shooting from the field. Stan, you just wonder how they can get their offense going. That'll help Milton to a skying Matisse Thybulle. He came off the bench in the opener. Al Horford coming off the bench. We haven't seen much of him tonight. Tice is able to tap in his own miss.
Trying to limit interior catches and make Philly play around the perimeter.
Yeah, the adjustments just don't stop from Stevens as he's mixed up a little bit of zone here. Stan Mason Brown. Another.
You see Brad Stevens signaling with the double fist. This is all to try to limit Embiid having the ball inside. If you move the ball, you should still be able to get it to him as they do there.
That little turnaround, a thing of beauty, by point hole here as we come up on the final 6 of the quarter. 18 for Jaylen Brown, 20 for Tatum, and 15 for Walker. Make it 17. It's only his 3rd time in the playoffs in his 9 NBA seasons. First time since 2016 with Charlotte. Acquired last July in that sign and trade. Embiid, can he put this team on his back?
In the 3rd quarter, compared to what it was in the 1st quarter of this game, where it was easy for Philadelphia to move the ball and pretty easy for them to throw the ball inside.
3-pointer from Harris won't go. Brown out. Kicks out to Williams on a 3. Get him! And everything working. Podcast walking around. It's just kind of, it's like a twilight zone here. Richardson into the paint, finds his spot, elevates, and hits. Let's get more from Stephanie.
To several head coaches here in Orlando, and they all share that sentiment. In fact, they joke about how players are upset when they give them days off. That never, ever happens outside of the bubble. But the players look so forward to getting in between those lines. If they get a day off, they wonder, what are we doing here? That's what we want to do.
Now, Stan, that's really the twilight zone when players are complaining for a day off.
Pops back and hits it. Tatum makes a nice pass.
Burks just couldn't squeeze it, and Walker comes away. Sets the table for Tatum. Bullseye again. And Jason Tatum.
Pressure.
Marcus Smart left open. Lets her rip from 3. Offensive rebound. Cantor. Boston of the Gordon injury, at least for a couple of days. But, of course, that is going to still loom large for this Boston team. Hayward's such a huge piece for them. As Embiid now with 30.
12-0 now for Boston, and fast break points 15-1 for Boston.
Milton on a corner 3. That's good. That'll cut it to.
The shooting is just a bonus. They want Marcus Smart's intensity, his toughness, the disposition he brings to the game out because he's such a good scorer. But Jason Tatum has become a very good NBA defender. He and Jaylen Brown, 2 guys averaging over 20, 2 young guys, and they can both defend.
It'll make a coach salivate all the different things that they can do, and just scary to think that this young man is only 22 years of age. He hits again. His talent is scary.
Yeah, that's great defense, and he's done that a couple of times tonight where it's been very good defense, and he makes it inadequate.
Quiet night for Horford. That's only his 2nd field goal. 4 points in 23 minutes tonight for Horford. Tatum left open. Splash!
Is a big problem for them, but let's not be surprised with what Boston has done in these 2 games. This team, along with the Clippers, but this guy's an outstanding player, and we're seeing in this series right now how much the Philadelphia 76ers miss Ben Simmons.
Is playing in this era of basketball with the 3-pointer proliferation of that shot, just the open court, but there's so much incredible basketball that young man has in him. What a loss he's been for Philly as Tatum continues his point. Fourth quarter on a night that has belonged to the Boston Celtics.
And Alec Burks, who was so good for Philly the other night with 18 points in 28 minutes, has just not given them anything tonight, hasn't been able to get it going. I don't know if Korkmaz there was shooting that or trying to get it back to Kyle O'Quinn. I'm serious. I don't know exactly what he was trying to do there.
Here comes Scott, baseline left, pretty reverse finish. Well, Scott, a guy who's hit some big three-pointers for this team in the postseason, certainly last year. But has not heard his name called until late in this fourth quarter. That is Ojale from deep. Appearance. We'll see how this one goes. Final three and change as Big Taco gets his legs warmed up.
Taco spent a lot of time here in Central Florida. Played some high school basketball over at Mount Dora. Went to UCF. A very popular guy. And the game has changed in the NBA, and what people want out of their centers is different. But there's still a role for a guy like Taco Fall if he can continue to develop.
Just a testament to
a lot of great players in this league. I don't know if there's anybody more fun to watch right now than Luka Doncic.
Talk about dynamic offensive ability. I don't think, Stan, anyone knows quite what his ceiling is yet. That's the scary part when you watch Doncic as Neto.
Still doesn't shoot the ball real well. I mean, you know, he's a low 30s three-point shooter, even though he's got great range. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he's a guy in the paint all the time. He's going to get to the line. I mean, if he becomes a high 30s three-point shooter and
we will be watching that game coming up. Brian Anderson, Chris Webber will have the call. With the Mavericks and the Clippers on tap. Catch up with him earlier tonight. And, you know, Stan, you've been there before. You know, you put so much time into these postseason series. And Brett said, look, you sit, you rack your brain with your staff, you try to come up with the answers, and then you get into these games, and the scripts is just kind of flipped on you. And you have to make your adjustments on the fly. Certainly the injury to Simmons, Luke's.
Without Simmons, counting these two games now in the playoffs, Philadelphia's 8-10. I mean, most teams in the league. This has become very much a perimeter league, and Philadelphia has put all their. He's a guard, but he's, you know, he's power forward build, and they were going to move him there. Tobias Harris, Al Horford, their big off-season acquisition. And so where they need to shore up is in their backcourt. Promising performance tonight by Josh Richardson, but this team still needs help on the perimeter if they want to get to where they want to go.
Taco Fall will get his name on the final score sheet. And that was a pretty good-looking baby hook shot.
And if this was in Boston and not here in front of virtual fans, the arena would have been all on their feet.
What an atmosphere would have been going back and forth between these two cities. But tonight it was all Celtics. And all of Boston has to be feeling good about where this team sits. They'll take a commanding 2-0 lead in the series.